Welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited about today's video because I'm going to be editing some of your photos, something I've wanted to do for a very long time on this channel. So a massive thanks to everybody that sent in a raw file for me to work on today. So today I'm going to be using Luminar Neo, an easy to use photo editing software package which is designed for photography enthusiasts, hobbyists and beginners. Now, whilst I edit your photos, I'm going to run through some of the awesome tools that Luminar Neo has to offer. So, with lots to run through, let's get straight into the first edit, and a big thanks to Luminar Neo for sponsoring this week's video. One of the great things about Luminar Neo is that you can get instant results by just moving a few sliders. So you don't have to learn a ton of difficult editing techniques to get great looking shots. So if you're just starting out, it's worth taking a look at the presets panel, as you can get decent results straight off the bat. So let's start with this sunrise shot from Alan Farley. And as you can see, the raw file is looking a little underexposed and flat, but we've got all of the info we need here. We just need to tease it out of the raw file. So let's go to the presets tab and choose a preset. And as you can see, there's lots to choose from, but I'm going to choose scenery from the scenery collection as we're editing a landscape image. And then we can scroll over each preset and it's going to give us a low res preview of what that preset looks like. I think clear and sharp suits this shot well, so let's roll with that one. Once I've selected the preset, I can then dial that amount back. I think around 90% looks good to me. So in the editing panel, we can click the eye icon at the bottom to see the before and after, and we can also drag the preview slider across too if we like. Now this is pretty insane with just one click of a button. Now, if you want to learn how this edit was made or make some tweaks yourself, you can do by coming up to the Edit tab at the top. And here you'll see all of the edits that were made when that preset was applied, which will help you learn and grow your editing skills. So just a couple of things I think to finish this edit off. You can see there's a few dust spots in the sky that we need to remove. So I'm going to select the Erase tool and click on Remove Dust Spots. And just like that, they're gone so quick. Next up, I'm going to adjust the crop, and I think that's it for this shot. I don't think we need to do any more. Now, if you want full control over your editing, you can start right here in the editing panel. Let's have a look at this wonderful sunrise image from Len Philpott. So let's go to the Develop tab. Let's boost the exposure by a touch, add in some contrast, lift the shadows and boost the saturation. Another tool which can help add sparkle to your shots is landscape, and in particular the golden hour slider, which is perfect for this shot. Let's boost that to about 95. By the way, whenever you want to go back to any of your previous edits, just hit the edit button at the top. So here's the before and after in just a few clicks. Now, if you're just starting out in photography, those basic editing techniques will serve you well, but as you progress, you might want to delve into some more advanced features. And Luminar Neo has a selection of AI extensions. So the first extension we're going to be taking a look at is the new Pano Stitch extension, which is really cool. So to create a panoramic shot, first we need to capture a series of images when we're in the field. And for this example, I've captured 2 images, but you can use more if required. The more you've got, the more you can merge together. So whilst in the catalogue view, we can see our photos at the top we'd like to merge. And on the right hand side, we can see the AI extensions. And all I need to do is highlight both photos by clicking and holding Control, and then drag and drop them into the Pano Stitch box at the bottom right, and then click Start. Now Luminar Neo will blend those images together and give us a few options, such as spherical and cylindrical. Usually spherical does a good job, so I'm going to continue with that and let auto crop the image for us, and then I'm going to click Save. Then we can see in the Pano stitching folder, we now have our finished Pano. If we click on that, we can open it and then run some edits if we need to. The next AI extension that's really useful is the HDR merge feature. So typically when a scene has very bright highlights and dark shadows, a camera might not have enough dynamic range to be able to record all of the tones within the scene. If this happens, we will either lose detail in either the shadows or the highlights, or both in some cases. So what we can do to help us record all of the data is to take multiple images at different exposures and then blend those images together in post-production. So this image here from Graham Holmes is overexposed. And if we bring up the histogram and hit J on the keyboard, we can see that the highlights are clipping. the clipping warning flashes red, and that shows us that we're losing highlights. This means we have all the shadow detail, but we've lost some of the highlight detail. Now, Graham took 4 images at different exposure values, which is called bracketing. In this one, we can see the mountaintop is exposed well, but the shadows are very dark. So what we're going to do is blend these 4 images using the HDR merge extension. So similar to before, I'm just going to drag the images into the HDR merge box and click merge. Now we'll have a photo with all of the dynamic range of all of those photos combined that we can run and edit on, meaning we've got so much more dynamic range than we had before. So let's reduce the highlights a little bit and lift the shadows a touch just to make this image pop. And I think maybe just finish it off with a 4:5 crop. Cracking image, Graham, really nice. So the next AI extension you can add to Luminar Neo is the focus stacking tool. So if you look at this image here, you can see my foreground is nice and sharp, but my background is soft. The next photo is the opposite. My foreground is soft, but my background is sharp. So to get a sharp image from my foreground to my background, I need to blend the 2 images together. So this is super simple to do with this extension. Just drop the 2 images into the focus stacking tool and click stack. And Neo will blend those 2 images together for us, creating the final stacked image. So let's take a look. And I think, yeah, it's done a decent job. So I do need to do a little bit of cropping to this image just to finish it off. Now, if you're not sure how to crop your photo, try clicking on the AI crop tool and it will crop your image based on some kind of like AI wizardry that I'm yet to comprehend. And yeah, I think this is pretty much bang on, and it's pretty much exactly what I would have done to the image had I done this myself. So yeah, pretty crazy. So the last extension that you can access through the catalog module is the upscale AI tool. And this allows you to increase the resolution of an image by 2, 4 or 6 times. So this wildlife image I have here is a crop of a much larger image, and it's only 1200 pixels wide. So let's see what it looks like if we upscale this image 2 times. So let's drag it in and click 2 times, and let's see what we've got. And I think it does a reasonable job here. There's definitely more resolution and detail, although some of the feathers do take on a bit of a smooth plasticky appearance, but it has done well. Now, I have had different results with this extension, and how well the extension renders detail will depend on the original photo, but it can definitely do a job if you need to squeeze some extra resolution from your files. So next up, we have a very interesting extension called Super Sharp AI. Now, we've all done this, haven't we? We've took a banging photo only to get home to realise it's blurred or slightly out of focus. Well, this extension can help to correct those mistakes. So let's take a look at this shot from Snowdonia. At first glance, it looks okay, but if we zoom in, we can see there's a small amount of camera shake, which makes this shot unusable for me. So let's take a look to see if Luminar Neo can save this photo. Let's try motion blur and low and let AI work its magic. And yeah, there's a big improvement, I think, straight off the bat, but there are a few issues. We can see a lot more noise and some weird artifacts in the shadows. So now I'm going to use the next AI tool, the one above, to fix these issues. And this is Noiseless AI. So Noiseless AI will help to get rid of the noise. So let's follow the recommended settings, shall we, and click middle. So I think this maybe looks a little too polished. So I'm going to dial the luminosity denoise back to about 50, the sharpening to about 25. And I think we're getting pretty good results now. So I think these 2 extensions combined have saved this image. So quite often when I'm making my YouTube thumbnails, I might need to remove a background from a product or object. So let's take a quick look at how easily it is to do that here in Neo. So we've got this shot of my camera here, and I'm positioned in front of a white wall. What I want to do is cut myself and the camera out and put a nice sunset sky photo behind it to give the thumbnail some colour. And it is super easy to do with just a few clicks here in Neo. So I'll come up to Layer, Masking, then Background AI Removal Tool, And then the main object selected, click remove. And as you can see, that's removed my background a treat. Now I just need to grab an image to put behind it. So Luminar has a range of assets that you can purchase, but I've got a sky here that I've previously shot. So I'm going to select that and drop it below the camera layer. Now, as you can see, it's done a great job in just a few clicks. Now this is really impressive. There are a bunch of options for fine-tuning your mask, as well as, you know, some really quite advanced blending techniques that you might see in other software packages. I think Luminar Neo is a great tool for the hobbyist or enthusiast wanting to take their photos to the next level, or someone that wants to produce quick edits. I'm impressed by the abundance of features and the ease of use, which is a big plus point for beginners. Look how well the highlights are recovered on this waterfall image from Kevin Evans. I genuinely didn't think I would be able to pull the highlights back in this shot, but Neo does an incredible job here. There's also a lot of fun features too to experiment with, like sun rays and the atmosphere section, but that's perhaps something for more of a concept photo rather than the authentic photography that I do. Luminar offers several different packages from monthly plans to one-off purchases, so if you fancy taking a look at Luminar Neo, be sure to check out the link that's down in the description for their best current deal. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see me get completely soaked while discussing how to get sharper photos with the telephoto lens, then I would highly recommend checking out the video that's up here. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and why not consider subscribing for more weekly content. Take care, and I'll see you all next week.